occurrences, just a big cash check. Spend it however you need to. Because usually those are things that have already tied up your income a good deal and will continue to do so. Accident insurance, simple. You get hurt on or off the job. You're going to go to if you go to the hospital or the doctor, you're probably going to hit some of your co-pays and deductibles pretty hard on your health insurance, so why not have a way to get those paid? Life insurance. MetLife is offering a term life with a guaranteed issue amount of $50,000 if you enroll by the end of this year. That's pretty solid. No health questions at all. You can buy more, of course, and then there'll be health questions asked for the additional amounts. But $50,000 with no health questions is pretty nice. Then Medicare supplements, if you're over 65 and covered by Medicare, this can pay the co-pays and deductibles and the drugs on Medicare. And we have hybrid products to cover an awful lot of different things. If you look under the IHC part of the website, you'll be able to see what our hybrid product does. In the future, we're going to be adding on more products as the marketplace continues to change. We expect we'll be adding in long-term care insurance because we're seeing some real reform in the long-term care insurance field. I have not seen a long-term care insurance policy that I would buy yet, and I'm getting close to that age where I worry about it more and more. But I'm seeing on the drawing boards of some really big carriers, some stuff that should be substantial. Because Americans right now are more insurance aware than they've ever been because it's in the news every day. And long-term care is what a lot of folks are going to face one of these days. That's why I try to be nice to my kids, because they're going to pick out my facility. So I don't beat them or anything. You know? Here's your credit card. Go have fun. Remember, Daddy, you got to put him in a home. Daddy likes warm places. He likes the beach. And other new lines of hybrid coverage as well to supplement what you already have. So there's some exciting stuff out there, at least to our industry. Some very exciting stuff out there on the forefront that we can keep you right on top of. And it's nice because we're not married to any one carrier. Again, we have 93 carriers that we are licensed with. So we get to go out and get them to compete with each other. We get to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. So we can find the best carriers out there for you at the best rates. And we're always throwing in new carriers to our mix. You're going to see NCAR emails. Now, we're going to have when you see emails from NCAR that are regarding us, there will always be a please disconnect me spot on there. If you don't want to receive yet another email, just go ahead and click on the button and we'll take you right off the list. If you want to get on, and now that's when NCAR starts letting us use their list. Right now we're not using their list at all. If you want to receive a communication from us now, and if you just want to stay on the forefront of what's going on in the healthcare industry, we're going to send out one about once a week. No promises, but weekly is what we're looking to do. Elizabeth and I have arm wrestled to see how often we're going to do them. She wanted to do them like twice a week. I'm like, twice a week? Are you insane? I get like 50,000 emails a week as it is. I don't think I'd want to get another one, and I imagine these folks get plenty too. So if you want to give us your email address, there's a page in there for you to fill that out. If you just give that to me, we'll add you to the list. If you ever decide you don't want to subscribe to our email anymore, that's fine. We'll take you right off the list, no problem. And of course, we're going to be on the NCAR Benefits portal. How to access it, just go to ncrealtors.org, which hopefully you're already familiar with that website. Log in with your own personal credentials. Go to the Realtor Partner page. And then you'll see our little Worksite Associates logo. Click there, and it'll tell you what your username and password is. Just your username is NCAR, password is benefits, and it'll take you right into our virtual model, which is a pretty neat technology. You can compare a bunch of different programs all next to each other if you want to. It's very easy to use, very intuitive. You don't need a big, long instruction on how to do it, though we did do a little video. But I'm very embarrassed to say I did the video, and it's my voice on there, and I hate the sound of my own voice. I really do. But they make me do it. Hey, Jay, you're the newest one, so you got to do that. Like, okay, I'd rather, I don't know, make coffee or something else. But the benefits portal looks a bit like this, and the biggest thing that hopefully you can see from back there is click here. If you click on there, it will take you to an appointment setter. So you can set up a personalized appointment with one of our enrollers. Just pick out the time and day you feel like you've got about an hour to spend on the phone with someone. Now sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's 2 hours. It just depends on what your needs are. But our enrollers they get right down to it because they're trying to talk to as many people as they can. We do have an awful lot of appointments that we're making every day to take care of NCAR members. There's my awesome video over there. But, So yeah, watch the video, and if you'd like to schedule a consultation. The video is 7 minutes long. It just talks to you about what the different benefits are being offered through the program and how to go about and do a product comparison, if you want to do that on your own. Our enroller will also do it over the phone with you. So don't feel like you've got to do this all on your own. It's all about a personal touch. It's all about having a human being from North Carolina on the other end of the phone, by the way. Our call centers are here in North Carolina. These people have to be licensed in the state of North Carolina. So they are residents of North Carolina, and they do live and work here. So here you can do a product comparison side by side. It goes through all the benefits, it goes through the costs, and just click there. If you want a 1/1 effective date on your policy, then we've got to get your enrollment done by about December 15th. That's what we're being told by Blue Cross and Blue Shield in Coventry, is they need the applications in by December 15th. So I expect there'll be a big spike about December 15th, but that's okay. We've got excess capacity, so we can handle it. And we'll help you enroll. We can get you set up to do bank draft or credit card. And keep this in mind too, that if you do this through the NCAR portal and through our enrollers, there's a revenue share that we've set up with the Realtors Association. So the Association of Realtors will receive a revenue share on this. That would not happen if you go straight through healthcare.gov. So some money will go back into NCAR to help out with some of your future endeavors. Questions? Best email address for us is NCARbenefits@Worksite Associates. Could we have come up with a longer name? Worksite Associates. I swear I have to stop and back up and type just about every time I type in Worksite Associates. But yeah, NCARbenefits@Worksite Associates if you have any emails for us. And right now, of course, I have gone a little bit longer than I'd hoped I would, but I will take questions. If you want to go to kff.org, that's a great source for information on healthcare reform, and there's a few IRS publications that are helpful as well. Yeah, Lewis.
A couple of questions, Jay.
Sure.
And probably these are some that other folks are thinking about. You had mentioned Medicare supplements, and I'm getting close to thinking about that. How are the Medicare supplements pricing going to be through the exchange versus what folks are paying now? Will they cover the same things? Will they increase? And secondly, there are a lot of folks in our industry, represented in this room, who are thin, and then there are some of us who are thick. I happen to be thick. How is this going to affect? I saw weight loss on there. Will there be something now that is not available currently through most policies?
Medicare, first of all. Medicare policies are standardized across the United States. So like an A plan is an A plan everywhere, and a B is a B, and a C is a C. So they're all the same. The only big differences you get between Medicare supplement plans anymore is cost by the carrier and by how quick they turn around their claims. Now, all their claims are automated, so they're all pretty close there anyway. So we are just shopping, we only shop rates because the carriers are all pretty close to each other. So the rates that we're getting you, we've negotiated them to get association rates rather than individual. So you should be able to get a lower price through us than going out there on your own. I just tell you that we're getting an association rate, so it does give you a break. Medicare supplements are going to go up in price every year. That's been my experience. I've started selling Medicare supplements back in 1986. And I still have some people that bought them back in 1986. I'm amazed. I guess they just want me to continue getting commissions or something. But every year those policies have had a rate increase. The reason is because every year Medicare reduces their benefits. So the carriers have to increase their benefits, so there goes your rates. And then thin versus thick, none of the plans right now have any sort of an element there, well, other than life insurance. Of course, life insurance always has a height and weight chart to it. But as far as a wellness program, we have introduced wellness programs in some groups before that people can actually build credits for instance, walking so many steps a day or knocking down their body fat, that type of thing. We have not done it for the association yet, but it is something we've talked about. It's a little bit cumbersome to implement, but it's not terrible. There is some upfront cost for the member if you were to buy, for instance, those wristbands like $100, that kind of thing. But it's something that is worth discussing because it could lower your rates as an association. So I can't promise you anything right now yet, but it's something that we have at least discussed with them because we've done it with some large employers. If you go to some of your large employers around here, like SAS, for instance, SAS, they've got some things in there where you can win prizes, basically, for maintaining health. Yeah. Saw a question in the back of the room here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, is there a discount mail order pharmaceutical plan?
Yes, there surely is. Yep. That's a pretty big deal. In fact, that's how they would love to get you all your medication, I think, because it's the cheapest way for them to provide it. You bet. It's pretty significant discount there. You bet. If you've got a normal one that you take on a monthly basis, it's a nice discount for that. You bet. Yes, up front.
My wife and I are worried about going on to the website and having our personal information out there where it could be taken to the government and given to Libya or some other country. Or
You bet.
If we buy private insurance through you, does that information automatically end up in the same pool as the rest of
That's
everyone
a
else?
great question, because I got that about, this is a true story about North Carolina. The first person to ever sign up on the North Carolina Exchange, well, through the federal exchange here in North Carolina, the first person got a scam email after they signed up. So I can tell you that the federal government's website is not secure compared to what it should be. We deal directly with the carrier. So our information goes straight from us to the carrier. So all that personal information goes to the carrier, not to the federal government. Then the carrier does what they do, but our information is not going from us to the federal government. I can just tell you that. The way to tell if you're getting a scam, if you've been sent to a scam website, is pretty easy. If it's easy to navigate and fast, it's definitely a scam. But yeah, I understand that. But us with our stuff, we only communicate directly with the carriers. So we're not sending our information to the healthcare.gov website.
She has a question.
I can tell you that for sure. Yes, back of the room.
How many carriers are competing on the government website in all 100 counties in North Carolina?
Well, only two. Yep, just two. Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Coventry, and we've negotiated them to the best rates that they'll give to an association in North Carolina. And Coventry is not in all 100 counties, by the way.
So it's just Blue Cross and Blue Shield in all 100, and then Coventry or now?
Yeah, Coventry, which is now owned by Aetna, but they're in a lot of major metropolitan areas, but they're not everywhere. Like you get out to like Transylvania County or whatever, you're out a lot.
Why is there only two? Is that because we didn't do our own?
That's part of it, but you know, in other states, we're seeing the same thing. Even those who have state-sponsored sites, a lot of carriers didn't want to participate. Like in California, which has the biggest state-sponsored website, you've got some big carriers like Humana and Transamerica refuse to participate because they feel like what's happening right now is, and they were right actually, they said, well, all these people who have pre-existing conditions are going to jump in right now. All the older folks are going to jump in right now because there's no age, because of those factors. So the rates are going to go up. We're going to wait until the next year or the year after that when things have subsided before we jump in. So I understand why they did that. But in North Carolina, Blue Cross is the biggest player anyway. Man, if you go to Alabama, for instance, Blue Cross is 96% of the healthcare industry in Alabama. So there's not a whole lot of competition here anyway. Coventry is the biggest competitor. There's a few other carriers out there too, like Celtic, for instance, but they did not get on the government one. Yeah.
Of the 473,000 policies that are going to be canceled or were notified to be canceled, how many of those are Blue Cross Blue Shield? And are those policies canceled because they don't meet the minimum standards of the Affordable Care Act?
Exactly. Those are ones that are not grandfathered and don't meet the minimum standards of healthcare reform. They might be great plans, by the way. A lot of those are really good health plans that you'd be very happy to have. But because they don't meet all those standards I threw out a bit earlier, then, for instance, they may not have mental health care. I don't know, they may have something like that that's not covered, so they're thrown out. If I had to take a guess, just an educated guess, and this is totally spitballing, I would take that 473 and divide it by 73%, because that's about what percentage of the healthcare market is Blue Cross's. So I would guess about that.
So what percentage of those plans do you think were cancelable? Like, they could cancel your health insurance if you got leukemia and have high level claims this year?
You know, that's something that has been thrown out because of healthcare reform. It used to be called rescission, and I thought it was the most crooked thing in the health insurance industry ever. What he's talking about is if you bought a health insurance plan and then a few months down the road came down with like cancer, your plan could have been canceled back in the day. It was called rescission. And then when I heard of it happening when I first got started in this business, I was 18 years old. When I first started happening, I'm like, that can't be. But it's built into some policies, not all policies. They're not guaranteed renewable. Now all policies are guaranteed renewable as of the first of the year. So some of those that got canceled may not be guaranteed renewable plans. Guaranteed renewable means that the only person that can cancel that policy is the policy holder by not paying premiums. As long as you pay the premiums, you get to hold on to the policy. But those policies had something, or were missing something, that's be the best way to put it, lacking something to meet the minimum standards of healthcare reform. So that's why they got the letter. Now, that's 473,000 people actually covered by the plans. There's not actually 473,000 policies. That's that many people covered by it. So some policies may be covering 5 people, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Mhm.
And so, if you're one of those 473,000 people, and you choose to stay and take the 24% increase because it's better than the other option,
Maybe, yeah.
and it is.
You only get keep it for, oh, by the way, it's only,
24%.
here's another thing, I forgot to throw this in. It's only for a year, by the way.
And that
They're
was
only
gonna be
allowing you
my
to keep it for
question.
an extra year. That's all it is. It's just a 1-year
So
softer
it's-
landing,
so
I
it's
guess,
just
be the
a
way.
bridge. You're gonna
Just a bridge, you
eventually-
bet.
That was
It's-
my question.
It's a short term, appease some people, I guess, the year before re-elections or whatever. But, but yeah, it's just a short term stopgap. Huh?
Well, I am one of those 473,000 people, and if I keep my policy that I've got now, is there a way for you to take that over and then work with me next year for the hard landing, or do I just need to stay?
I would say call us and let us help you navigate that. Please let us help you. We won't make anything off of it, but it's okay, because we're here to help members.
Because I don't want them to consider that a new policy.
Yeah. Call us and we'll help you through it. Elizabeth, who just left a little while ago, she was one of the 473,000 people. She got the same letter, so she's in the same boat. So she's been really diligent about making sure, let's make sure, she's been keeping up on everything when it comes to that, so she'll be able to help you. And we can help you with that, you bet. Please call us.
And another question.
Mhm.
In determining whether or not you qualify for a subsidy,
Mhm.
being an independent contractor with a Schedule C, does that information need to be extracted out of your tax information?
Go by your tax return. What's your adjusted gross income on your tax return?
Is it just me, or is it my whole family, like me and my husband?
It's the whole family.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole family. And another thing about that is the IRS website, IRS was supposed, their computers were supposed to talk to the healthcare.gov computers. Surprise, they don't. So, so reporting your income, at least for this year, is an honor code kind of a thing. But keep this in mind, if you somehow make a mistake on your subsidy amount and are ever caught, they're going to prosecute pretty heavily. So make sure that the information you put out there for your subsidy is as accurate as it can be. Now here's another thing about the accuracy of your subsidy real quick. It's based on what you expect to earn in 2014. I don't know how much money I'm going to make in 2014. So it's a guesstimate anyway, but do your very best. They will only be auditing at random people's subsidy amounts, and if you're a pretty low income, I don't expect that. If you have been traditionally low income anyway, I don't think that would set up a red flag. But if you've been making $150,000 a year and suddenly in 2014, oh, I'm only going to make $500, yeah, that's going to set off a red
Folks,
flag.
we are already over our allotted time. We're gonna ask Jay to hang out a little bit. We have
Sure.
let's take 2 more questions, because I saw one here, and then the lady in the pink sweater, or
Awesome.
whatever color it is. And then we'll ask Jay to stay around, and we'll wrap up our session.
Yes,
I think mine is kind of a segue from hers. My insurance goes through next June.
right.
Is there any chance that what I could get now if I switched over is gonna cost less? I mean, is that worth looking into?
That's a good question, because in my group renews May 1st. So I got a letter from Blue Cross Blue Shield saying, if you want us to, we can quote you starting having a short plan year and renewing December 1st of this year versus May the 1st of next year. So I had them run a projection, and they came back to me about 3 weeks ago and said, if you do renew December 1st, keep this in mind, you'd have to start all over again on your deductibles and co-pays, which we've hit. And your rates will go down 2% though. But I'm like, 2%, I expect next year my rates will go down a bunch. In fact, if I just look at the individual plans, if I just switch all my employees to individual only, my rates will be a whole lot less than I'm paying right now. So I definitely did not go with the December 1st deal. We could look up the rates for you. We can tell you what the rates would be if you wait till next year, if you do it as of January 1st. We have those rates, and they are credible rates, yeah. Yeah.
I'm confused about the companies that chose not to participate, like Humana or Celtic.
Yeah.
Are they still legally offering insurance?
They are.
Can you still have insurance through them?
You certainly can. You can buy insurance through them, and their policies have to tell you whether or not, of course, complies with healthcare reform.
So you
Yeah.
just get fined if it doesn't comply?
if it doesn't comply. But I don't think anyone is planning on offering anything that doesn't comply next year, other than self-insured plans. Some self-insured plans will not be in compliance. In fact, they're called, a lot of those are going to be called minimum essentials plans, minimum essentials coverage, MEC plans for short, or you may hear them called skinny plans. If you're somebody talking about a skinny plan, keep in mind the skinny plan only does one thing. It pays for wellness screening. It doesn't pay for doctor's office visits, doesn't pay for hospitalization, doesn't pay for an emergency room treatment. It only pays for health and wellness screening. But they're cheap as all get out. You're talking about that might be $17 a month. Hey, I'm getting insurance for $17 a month. No, you're not. You know, you're getting something to maintain health with. But yeah, anyone who's offering health insurance for next year, they have to tell you for one thing, if it is ACA compliant. And I don't know of any carriers that are not offering ACA compliant stuff next year, because why buy it? You know, why would you do it unless you're in a self-insured arena?
All right, thank you again. Let's thank Jay for coming. And before we depart, we'll have Denise make the drawing.